Hi everyone, this is Robin Woodall with Weight Loss Apocalypse. I am recording this video in response to all of the questions regarding the HCG protocol, my leptin hypothesis, my approach to eating with strict regulation through hunger, and as well as Dr. Jack Kruse, his leptin reset. So before I go any further, I want to clarify that I'm not an expert at the leptin reset. Jack Kruse is, and he would know everything in and out based on his experience with his own patients, and based on his hypothesis and all of the research he's done to formulate his approach. So I'm not the best one to ask questions to about his process. So there's a couple things I want to make sure I go over. First of all, the HCG, based on my hypothesis, which is based on the science that exists today as it concerns leptin, fat loss, metabolism, as well as leptin and the relationship and coordination HCG and leptin has in pregnancy, that to start, the hypothesis being that low-dose HCG, based on the science that shows 100 international units, is the most powerful stimulus of leptin, that by injecting the 125 IU to 150 IU, and for some people I actually go down to the 100 IU and some to 85, based on just my experience, that your need for food hormonally then is drastically reduced. So that if you were to use hunger to determine when and how much to eat, and I use, for the most part, Dr. Simeon's his lists of food and his maximum allotments of food, but based on the use of hunger, the average amount of food measured in calories that people need during the very low calorie section of the protocol is less than 500 calories. That by following hunger and monitoring caloric amounts after the fact, the average is around 350. And for some people, under 150. So, and that's using and monitoring hunger. Now, there's a couple things I want to make clear. That first of all, during that very low calorie protocol, the body is extremely adaptable. So whatever you do, you need to be consistent. So if you wake up and you have coffee and you have a piece of protein, you need to do that every day. And it needs to be very, very consistent. So if you choose to use lotion on your face, which is, again, not suggested based on Dr. Simeon's manuscript, if you're going to do it, you need to be very consistent. Again, put your lotion on your face at the same time of day. If you're doing sublingual tablets or drops, you need to stick with that. Don't switch to injection midway. Or if you're doing prescription HCG and switch to homeopathic, or vice versa, or the vibrational stuff, it's just really important that whatever you choose to do, be very, very consistent, because the body will acclimate. Now, what I've chosen to do specifically with hunger is to use the body's own sense and warning sign that leptin is lowering through hunger to determine when to eat. And as that hunger goes away, to have confidence that that's a sign that your leptin levels are now sufficient. So that consistency is even more finitely controlling your system's hormonal balance. And if you use how I teach the HCG protocol with hunger, based on my experience, it's really important that you do it consistent. Your body will acclimate to that system, and when HCG is gone, you're going to need to continue to use that approach. Now I need to watch more people with a different approach or a drastic shift in approaches. That's my fear with a drastic shift in approach, meaning when you get into the maintenance phase and you begin to no longer use hunger, that may cause a hormonal, I guess, challenge for the body because it hasn't acclimated to that. So when you transition into the maintenance or phase 2 based on Simeon's pounds and inches, or P3 based on internet, that if you've been listening to hunger the whole time through the very low calorie protocol, transition into P3 phase 2 and abruptly don't listen to hunger, that's going to cause a problem. The whole point of the HCG is to essentially keep your leptin levels elevated, which then, to keep them from being too elevated, you have to reduce your food dramatically and control the types of food that come in. And without the HCG, you can continue to control that act by, again, listening to your body, eating when you're hungry, and avoid fullness at all costs. Now, the more fat you have, the longer it will take between your meals, 5 hours or more, and the less food it's going to take for you to get adequate leptin levels, which in that circumstance as well, the food you need to be choosing, which makes total sense, needs to be avoidance of anything that is inflammatory, sugar and starches. Because you still have a susceptibility to overstimulating leptin, which can cause all sorts of damage. So the less fat you have and the more fat that you've lost throughout your protocols, the timing and sequencing of eating may not be the way it was when you were morbidly obese. So again, this is how I came to the conclusion with hunger, because it's so personalized to your body's rhythms and systems. And obviously, the more consistent you are with life, the more consistent you are with waking times, sleeping times, minimizing alcohol or when you drink alcohol, and then also for you women out there, understanding your menstrual cycle, which is also something that you need to be acclimating and adapting to, the better off you're going to be. So, I don't know enough about the leptin reset and I guess better said, I haven't observed enough to feel confident that if you make an abrupt shift in the pattern of eating that you are trying to get your body to acclimate to, I'm not sure after the very low calorie protocol that would be what I would suggest. But then again, that's just based on me and my observations, and what I've seen work brilliant. I mean, if you continue to use hunger, but you can't be a liar about it. You really need to use it. It works incredible. And it's not easy to gain your weight back. So anyhow, what a great question, and what a neat time to be in this field. I just am so excited about all of this new awesome information, and I'm learning just as much as you are, and the more I learn, the more I realize we don't know shit. So I just am dumbfounded at all of this really neat science. So, and I have been following Dr. Kruse, and I find him fascinating myself because he is an artist. Just fun to read, and what I have incredible respect for him and what he's doing. And I've kind of got the sense that he basically, through the art of deduction himself, similar to Dr. Simeon's, created a protocol that essentially does the same thing as the HCG protocol, but not as condensed. It's, it really takes more time, but it's the same type of, controlled environment. So it's kind of parallel. So one isn't better than the other. They're just very different. So I keep on coming to in my head, it's like, gosh, if you're going to do one, you need to stick with it, because the body will acclimate to it, and it will heal itself. which is another great thing, because if you do this right, whether it's the HCG protocol or the leptin reset, it is using the body to its own advantage. You're not using something outside of the body, which is even just, to me, more empowering, and that also forces you to be, proactive and take responsibility, which is really what you need to do anyways. So that's really all I have for you. So I don't know if that answers your question, but whatever you choose, be consistent, let your body acclimate, and keep your emotions out of it. Because once your emotions get involved, shit hits the fan for the body. So, okay, bye-bye.